Before we speak of victory, we must ask the forgotten question: how did we lose Jerusalem in the first place? Four centuries passed between Umar ibn al-Khattab, radiyallahu ta'ala anhu's peaceful conquest and Salahuddin's glorious return. Centuries of silence, struggle, and lessons forgotten. When Umar ibn al-Khattab, radiyallahu ta'ala anhu, entered Jerusalem, he came not as a conqueror, but as a servant of Allah, walking humbly, receiving the keys of the city with compassion and justice. Under his leadership, Muslims, Christians, and Jews lived in harmony. His covenant protected every community. It allowed every faith to worship freely, to live in peace, and to share in the sanctity of the Holy Land. Jerusalem thrived as a city of knowledge, faith, and light. Under the Umayyads, Jerusalem became a center of Islamic beauty. The Dome of the Rock rose in golden splendor, a symbol of unity and worship. The city drew scholars, traders, and pilgrims from across the Muslim world. But when the Abbasid capital moved east to Baghdad, the Levant slowly lost attention. Then came the Fatimids, a radical sect whose rule disrupted the peace of Jerusalem and weakened the spirit of its people. Their ruler, Al-Hakim bi Amrillah, grew erratic. He desecrated sacred sites, even banned the Hajj, and his actions fractured the bond between Muslims and Christians. It was among the sparks that would ignite the Crusades. Meanwhile, Europe was collapsing. Famine, corruption, and despair. To save their dying economy, church leaders disguised greed as faith. Pope Urban II called upon Europe's armies to wage a holy war. But it was not holiness they sought. It was gold, land, and power. The Crusaders marched east with crosses on their chests and fire in their hands. They claimed salvation, but left only destruction. At Ma'ara, they slaughtered 30,000 innocents, even turning to cannibalism. And by July 1099, Jerusalem bled. For 90 years, the Adhan was silenced. Then, a man rose in the north, Nur al-Din Zang, a warrior of faith, a scholar in armor. He rebuilt schools, revived Quranic learning, and trained an army of believers. He even built a wooden pulpit, waiting for the day it would return to Al-Aqsa. In 1137, in the city of Tikrit, a child was born, Yusuf ibn Ayub. He would one day be known as Salahuddin. His mother dreamed of a sword within her, and that sword would become the defender of Islam. He grew up in Damascus, surrounded by scholars, soldiers, and the stories of Nur al-Din. He memorized the Quran, studied astronomy and strategy, and entered the army at only 14. Though not large in stature, his strength lay in his mind and heart. He was calm, humble, and deeply faithful. Nur al-Din saw in him something extraordinary, the spark of destiny. At 27, Salahuddin was sent to Egypt. There, he transformed a divided land. He built schools, revived justice, raised the wages of teachers, and restored true faith to the people. Within a decade, he united Egypt, Yemen, and the Hijaz, not for power, but for purpose. When Nur al-Din passed away, Salahuddin took up his mission. He peacefully brought Syria under his care, marrying Nur al-Din's widow to unite their causes. By patience and wisdom, he formed one Ummah, stretching from the Red Sea to the Euphrates. Yet still, he refused comfort. "How," he said, "can I smile while Jerusalem is in enemy hands?" In 1177, he tried to retake Jerusalem but suffered defeat. Yet his resolve never broke. He reorganized, rebuilt, and waited. He knew that victory is not seized in haste. It is earned with patience and faith. Then came the provocation. A Crusader lord named Reynold of Chatillon attacked Muslim pilgrims, killed them, and swore to destroy the Kaaba itself. Salahuddin vowed before Allah that Reynold would die by his own hand. And so, in July 1187, at the Battle of Hattin, the Sultan's army surrounded the Crusaders. The desert wind turned to fire. The enemy burned in thirst and defeat. Salahuddin's forces triumphed, and Reynold fell exactly as promised. Only weeks later, the Sultan stood before Jerusalem's gates. The Crusaders surrendered, and on the 27th of Rajab, the night many recall as Al-Isra wal-Miraj of Prophet Muhammad, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Salahuddin entered the city, not as an avenger, but as a guardian. He offered safe passage to all, Christians, Jews, and Muslims alike. He forbade revenge. He restored the churches, reopened the mosques, and placed Nur al-Din's minbar inside Al-Aqsa, at last fulfilling his teacher's dream. When asked why he spared his enemies, he replied, "We are not like them. We are guided by mercy." Even after victory, he remained humble. He never lived in luxury, never hoarded wealth, and never stopped praying. When illness struck him in Damascus, Quran reciters gathered by his side. At the verse, "There is no deity but Allah, Lord of the mighty throne," Salahuddin smiled and returned to his Lord. He was 56 years old. They found only 47 dirhams and 1 gold coin in his possession. Not enough for his funeral. They buried him beside the Umayyad mosque with his sword by his side, the same sword his mother once dreamed of. Crowds wept and prayed, "O Allah, as you opened Jerusalem for him in this world, open for him the gates of paradise." Centuries later, in 1920, a French general stood before his tomb and mocked, "Wake up, Salahuddin, we have returned." But the spirit of Salahuddin never died. It lives in every heart that refuses oppression, in every believer who dreams of justice, and in every generation that stands firm in faith. Because victory does not belong to any one man. It belongs to those who never stop believing. Prophet Muhammad, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, taught us that honor lies in obedience to Allah and unity under his rope. Salahuddin Ayubi, the sword of mercy. May his legacy remind us that true power is born from patience, unity, and faith.